Let's go to Melissa, who's on the line in Atlanta, Georgia. Melissa, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help?
Well, I am fervently looking for a job now, and I bought your book, and I loved it, and I completely redid my resume
All
according
right.
to your resume guide.
Good.
Yep, love that too. And I am looking and just cannot seem to get anywhere, and I'm calling because I'm wondering if I'm missing a step or if I'm just not doing something correctly.
Well, let's look at what you're doing. What are you doing to try to get job interviews?
Well, I am calling friends of mine. In fact, I have an appointment with one on Monday who works at a country club now as a controller. So I'm going to go in and talk to him just to see what does he value in an employee? Do they have any openings there?
Right.
So I've been doing that. I've been sending out emails to our resumes like crazy.
All right.
And just making sure, excuse me, that, my resume looked great according to your resume guide. And I've been doing this for about 2 months, and I just can't seem to get anywhere.
Well, okay, so here's the good news. I got good news and bad news.
Okay, good.
Okay. I'm going to give you the good news first.
Okay.
The good news is that there are plenty of opportunities for you, and this is a super hot job economy, and Atlanta's a great market, and so you got in touch with me 2 months in as opposed to a year in, so that's the good news. The bad news is you've largely been doing this all the wrong way. So that means that when you start doing it the right way, you're going to get job interviews. So that's the good news, bad news, good news sandwich.
Okay, good.
All right, now let's talk about what you've been doing wrong. Just sending emails and submitting your resume via electronic mail or, on websites. I love your hustle. You got a good looking resume, but that's not enough because a resume, even the Ken Coleman Show resume, which by the way, folks, you can learn how to do that at kencoleman.com. It's free. But my resume, even though it's done way better than everybody else's and it gets people's attention, it's still largely worthless without a relationship.
Okay.
So the point is I love that you're going to meet with a friend, but even that's kind of off because what you said was, I'm going to meet with my friend and see what he values in an employee. That's a nice question. It's good. And I'm going to see if he has any openings. Well, what happens if you get out there and he has no openings? Then you went all the way out there and met with a friend and he's got no openings. So the way you need to do this is, what is it that I want to do? What are all the different things I could do? And who all is actually hiring positions that I'm interested in and I would do very well in? And so then Melissa, so now we've got a list, right?
Okay.
And just for example, let's say that you find 20 jobs that meet those qualifications. So now instead of sending out 20 resumes, the first thing you do is you email, call, physically talk to close friends and acquaintances. That means former coworkers you have a good relationship with, girls that you go to church with, or you do the tennis club. I don't care. Whatever your acquaintances are on top of your close relationships. And you say to them, I am looking to get a job at these 20 companies. Will you take a quick look at this list and tell me if you know anybody pretty well at these places? Do you see the difference? Do you see what's just happened?
I do see the difference.
So you've expanded your net. Now you got a huge net, number one. Number two, you're going to get some yeses, you're going to get some nos. But then on the yeses, they're going to say, yeah, Melissa, my sister works here, or my uncle, or my good friend from college, or my sorority sister, or whatever. I don't know. But they then, when they say they know somebody, you're going to say, would you be willing to call them and tell them that I am a rock star and you know me well and that I'm interested, and see if they will submit my resume to the person who's actually doing the hiring of this position. And then, by the way, that's just one step, that email or talking about. And then they're going to go, well, I know about another company over here. You got to tell people what you want to do. You got to say, do you know anybody that's looking for somebody like me? And when we start talking about it constantly, and we're saying, I need help. Do you have a connection? Do you know somebody? We use our web of connections. You said you read my book. And remember that web of connections chapter?
Yes.
Just go back and read that chapter every night as motivation and instruction. Okay?
I will.
And Melissa, listen, opportunities are going to come to you now, but that's how you got to go about it.
Okay.
All right? So this is a lesson not just for Melissa, but for a lot of you. Your resume is worthless without a relationship. It just is. I can't tell you how many people apply for Ramsey Solutions every year. I'm talking like 50,000, 60,000 people. And we hire like 300. Well, how in the world do you think that happens? Well, because of relationships. The people who know somebody in this building are going to get the best look because Dave incentivizes our team to recommend good people to come in here. We want to keep crazy out. Well, we're not the only company that does that, but regardless of whether other companies are as intentional as Ramsey Solutions is not the point. The point is, if you just submit your resume, we know from data that HR managers are spending 6 to 60 seconds scanning your resume. You're just another nameless, anonymous nobody in a pile. It is the personal connection that pulls your resume out of the pile. You want somebody to walk in and go, hey, we've got a job that's open. I know this person through this, or I know them directly, or I know them through somebody. I think they're a really valuable, sharp candidate. And I think we ought to interview them. That's how you get the interview. And while I'm on the subject, we have 3 Get Hired guides that are absolutely free. You heard Melissa talk about the resume guide. We teach you how to flip your resume, show you exactly how to do it, why we do it that way, give you an example of a finished resume. The second thing that we do is give you the How to Win the Interview guide. That's preparing you to be prepared and to help you perform in the interview. And third, the touchpoint timeline. How do you follow up? What are the ways you follow up? When do you follow up? When to know to let go? These are 3 very practical guides, and they're going to make your job hunt so much more efficient.